Good afternoon, everyone. These are the reports of Group 3. But before that, let me introduce to you our reporters today. It starts with Charise Cenabre, Laisa Charise Sapalon, Salahudin Pilot, Abdulhalim Kunsa, Siti Kayla Anayatin, Aladin Salik, Esnaira Guimba, Hisham Sumagka,
Nesrin, Salik,
and by Farisha Darat. That's all the reporters. Now, let me lend your ears and listen to our topic that we will be discussing. Our topic today are all about the position paper, conceptual paper, technical report. What is the position paper? According to Valdez 2016, the position paper is devoted to discussing one side of an issue, while other essays are devoted to presenting information. Also, position paper tackles only one significant issue of a community on which the author takes a stand. It represents an unarguable opinion about an issue. The goal of a position paper is to convince the audience that your opinion is valid and worth listening to.
Parts of position paper, Bowie State University 2019. Introduction identifies the issue that will be discussed and states the author's position on that issue. Body contains the central argument and can be further broken up into three sections: background information, evidence supporting the author's position, and a discussion of both sides of the issue which addresses the refute and arguments that contradict the author's position. Conclusion restates the key points and suggests resolution to the issue. Example, debate.
Writing a position paper. The position paper aims to convince the audience that the opinion is valid and worth listening by presenting credible evidence and addressing the existing counterclaims. Before composing a position paper, one should first know if the topic is relevant and that both its negative and positive sides are plausible. These are some of the guide questions in choosing an issue or topic. Is it a real issue with genuine controversy and uncertainty? Can you distinctly identify two positions? Are you personally interested in advocating one of these positions? Is the issue narrow enough to be manageable? After choosing the topic, do some research on both sides of the argument even if you already have an opinion or position on your topic. Looking on both pros and cons will help to create a list of supporting evidence to establish a stronger counterclaims. The supporting evidence must include the factual knowledge, statistical inferences, informed opinion, and personal testimony. The next to be considered by audience is asking the following questions. Who is your audience? What do they believe? Where do they stand on the issue? How are their interests involved? What evidence is likely to be effective with them? How to write a position paper. Introduce your topic with some basic background information. Introduce possible objections to your position. Support and acknowledge the opposing points. Explain that your position is still the best one, despite the strength of counter-arguments. Summarize your argument and state your position.
Hello everyone, and now we have concept paper. Definition. A concept paper, according to Dado Fadzan 1996, cite in Sankington and Oicho 2016, defines an idea or a concept and explain its essence to clarify weakness of that idea or concept. Concept papers answer the question what is it and what about it. Aside from that, Concept paper are also used to summarize a research project or project proposal. It tells the reader what the project is, why it is important, and however it will be carried out. Typically, a concept paper contains these elements. Number 1. A title in the form of a question. This might be the last part of the concept paper that you write, but it should appear at the heading of the paper. Number 2. A clear description of the research topic, including a summary of what is already known about that topic. Number 3. A one-sentence statement of the research question that the project will seek to answer. This is almost always something that is not known. The concept paper should elaborate on how this question can be answered, something that almost always takes more than one sentence to accomplish. Number 4. A demonstration of why it is important to answer this research question. What good come of this answer? Why is this project worth writing? Number 5. A description of how the researcher plans to answer the research question. Now let's proceed with developing concept. Writing definition is important in developing concept papers. Definitions serve as a frame of references for discussion as it provides the meaning of a word or term used in the paper. There are 3 types of definition. First is formal. Formal sentence definition include the term or a word to be defined, the class or the group where the terms belongs, and the distinguishing feature or qualities that make the term unique. Second is informal. Informal definition do not include distinguishing feature. Third is extended. Extended definition are essay length, texts that elaborate the meaning of a term or a concept through different rhetorical patterns. Let me give you an example of formal and informal. Formal example. Term, a triangle. Class is a plane figure. Distinguishing feature, with 3 straight bounding sides. Informal example. Term, a triangle. Class has 3 straight bounding sides. Distinguishing feature, not available.
Good day everyone. Parts of a concept paper. Number 1. Introduction. This part identifies how and where the applicant's writer's mission and the potential sponsor or funders' mission intersect or align. It addresses why the funders should support project, introduce the applicant's writers, partners, and show why the partners want to participate in the project. Number 2. Purpose. Also known as the need or rationale, it outlines what others have written about the topic. It focuses of the gap in the knowledge to be filled, the problem to be solved, or the need to be addressed by the applicant's proposed project. Number 3. Project description. In this section, the applicant addresses the unique, unusual, distinctive, innovative, and or novel aspect of the approach, showing why the applicant's theme as a best solution and presenting a compelling case for funding. Also included in the project description are the following parts. Goals and objective. A goal is an abstract state of being, a condition at hand, or an inspiration contrast. Objectives are statements of measurable outcomes that collectively will help an applicant measure progress toward accomplishing the project goals. Methodology and timelines. Methodology refers to the set philosophical foundation you use in your choosing research method. It also discusses whether you are using qualitative or quantitative method. Benefits, anticipated outcomes. It indicates the people who will benefit from the project and how they will benefit. Number 4. Budget support. This section contains either the following: an outline of the main budget categories of the requested project support, a single bottom line amount of the request, and a brief discussion of how the amount will be used.
Good day everyone, my name is Salahudin M. Pilot. So first of all, I'm going to discuss about the simple concept paper. So what is the simple concept paper? Simple concept paper is coming from Saketon and Uichoko. It says that it defines an idea of a concept and explain its essence in order to clarify the whatness of that idea by concept. So what do we mean by that? And when we have simple concept paper, you are also establishing your answers for questions like what is it and what about it.
It's like I'm getting to know a person, right? You know what the person is, but when is it or who is it? It's different from that about him or her, but it's easy for people to judge people. But then, when you just answer, what is it? It's not enough, and it becomes a better understanding of who the person is when you know that person is by the things that are related to it. So that's the definition of
simple concept paper.
And let's go into introduction. As their name indicates, introduction should introduce outline or give an overview of what your paper is going to talk about. This means introducing the topic, outlining the major points that will be discussed, giving relevant and presenting a clear thesis, in short, the main idea. And also the introduction should not talk vaguely about the topic or give an overly broad background. They should give specific detail and bits of information that outline the parts of the paper. Next is the body of the concept paper. As the mail of the paper, the body is where the main ideas are developed, source are brought into the support theme, and the overall argument is made. Each paragraph within the body should revolve around one major idea and follow the basic guidelines of a paragraph. Outlining is the key to writing the paper body. With a proper outline, you know how many paragraphs or ideas you want to present, what order you want to present them, and what you want to say in them. Lastly, the conclusion. Conclusion wrap up or tie together everything that's being said and give you a final chance to lay out your main ideas before the reader. Your conclusion should restate your main ideas, thesis, address any opposing views, just as the introduction, presentation, the topic, main idea, and supporting points to the reader. So thus, the conclusion bring all of those back together to wrap things up neatly and make one final push for persuasion. Okay, I hope those are clear, and that's the end of our discussion.
Technical report. A technical report is a document that describes the process, progress, or result of technical or scientific research, or the state of technical or scientific research problem. It might also include recommendation and conclusion of the research. Unlike other scientific literature, such as scientific journals and the proceedings of some academic conference, technical reports rarely undergo comprehensive, independent peer review before publication. Where there is a review process, it is often limited to within the originating organization. Similarly, there are no formal publishing procedures for such reports, except where established locally. Before I show you the sum of example of technical report, what is technical report example? Technical report example is a written document made by a researcher which contains the details about a project's results. After creating the technical report, the researcher submits it to the project sponsor. Such a report may contain procedures, design, criteria, research history, image, or illustration. and other data relevant to the project. This is some of example of technical report.
Parts of a technical report. Methods, material, and participants. It describes the different data collection techniques and the strategies used to answer the research questions. A general description of the participants is also given, as well as the criteria used in selecting them. Results and discussion. This expounds to the research questions. Also, this section presents the findings from the literature, surveys, interview, and or experiments. Valdez 26.
Recommendation: the act of saying that someone or something is good and deserve to be chosen. A suggestion about what should be done. A formal letter that explains why a person is appropriate or qualified for particular job. School recommendation report is written to propose or recommend the option available to solve a problem or file a need. The goal of the report is to compare options, recommend one option, and support that recommendation. While cost is always a consideration, there are other considerations as well. A reference list contains details of all sources cited in text. A reference list is arranged alphabetically by author. If an item has no author, it is cited by title and included in the alphabetical list using the first significant word of the title. A reference list is generally placed at the end of a work. 1. Include the reference poll contact information list. This full name, title, and company, and addition to their street address, phone, and email. Number 2. Include your contact information. 3. Add a title to the page. 4. Be consistent with your formatting. 5. Check for occurrence. Material that is too detailed to include in the main report, such as long mathematics derivation or calculation, detailed technical drawing or table of raw data. Each appendix must be referenced to by number or letter at the relevant point in the text. The heading should be appendix followed by a letter or number, appendix A or appendix. Centered in writing and appendices must be listed in the tables of contents. The page numbers of the appendices will continue on with numbering from the last page of the text. At the end of the paper, that includes information that is too detailed for the text of the paper itself and would burden the reader or be distracting or inappropriate. The content in the appendix should be easily presented in print format.
Thanks for watching.